Hello everyone! Welcome to my video. I'm Stella from SterlarCrafts. How are you today? In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make these cute cherry charms. And they can be used in so many ways. They can be a bag charm. You can use them to decorate your doorknobs. And the most popular way to use them is to decorate your car's rear view mirror. So let's start. Come with me. So let's see what we are going to need. So we need scissors, tapestry needle, a 4mm crochet hook, fiber fill, measuring tape, and let me show you some optional things too. A hot glue gun or fabric glue, and a stitch marker. I don't have one, so I'm going to use a safety pin. Now let's talk about the yarn we are going to need. So I'm going to use number 4 medium worsted weight 100% acrylic yarn in the colors red and green, but you can use any color that you want. You could also use 100% cotton medium weight yarn and use the same hook size, the 4mm crochet hook. To start our project, we have to make a string made out of chains, and my chosen length for the string is 14 inches. But we are going to have to fold this string in half. So the actual size of my charm here, it's going to be 7 inches. You can make this string as long as you want. Look at that. So from here to here, it measures 7 inches plus the size of the cherries. So the total length of the charm is approximately 8 inches. So let's start with the easiest part of the charm, which is the string. And all we have to do is make chains until we reach the desired length. So I want my string to measure approximately 14 inches. So I'll make chains until I get to 14 inches. So we get the green yarn. So we start by making a slip knot, and we have to leave a short tail here before the slip knot. So leave some yarn there before you make your slip knot. And then we make chains. Let's see how many chains I'm going to make to get to 17 inches. So here I'm just going to make chains. So I have 50 chains and my string is measuring approximately 10.5 inches. So I'll make a few more chains until I get to 14. Alright, I'm back and 65 chains got me to 14 inches. Now we are going to cut the yarn, leaving a short tail. Let's say we leave a tail of approximately 6 to 7 inches. And then we pass that yarn tail through the last chain, and then we pull the yarn to secure it in place there. So now we have a yarn tail here at the end and a yarn tail here at the beginning. And soon you're gonna see why we leave those tails there. So moving on, we have the string, and then now we are going to make the leaves. This is made in one take. We don't need to make 2 separate leaves. We make all this at once, and I'll show you how. Let's start. Alright, so we start by making a slip knot again. So that's my slip knot. And then we chain 16 chains here. 16 chains. Look at that. And we are going to be working on both sides of these chains. So to make the top of the leaves, we are going to grab only one little loop of the chain, because we have to leave another loop for the bottom of the leaves. So in the second chain from the hook, we make a single crochet. So just grab one loop of the chain there and make a single crochet right there. And now we move on to the next chain and we make a half double crochet. And then we are going to make 3 double crochets, one in each different chain here from the foundation chain. So 3 double crochets separately. One double crochet, and then I go to the next chain. I make my second double crochet. And then I go to the next chain and I make my third double crochet. This is how it's looking like till now. Now we are going to make a half double crochet in the next chain. And then we go to the next chain, we make a single crochet. And then we make a slip stitch in the next chain. And look at that, the top of the first leaf is done. Now we are going to start the top of the second leaf. Look at that, let me show you. See, we made this part here. Now we are going to make this part. And we are going to use the same stitches, so it's the same thing. It's a single crochet, a half double crochet, and they are all in separate chains from the foundation chain. And then a double crochet, a second double crochet, and a third double crochet. And then we make a half double crochet in the next chain. And then we make a single crochet. And then we are done with the second leaf, the top of the second leaf. Now we are going to turn our work because we are going to work on the other side of the foundation chain. So we make a single crochet in the same chain that we made the single crochet here. So there are 2 single crochets in that last chain. And then we go to the next chain. So we are going to grab that remaining loop there. We are going to make a half double crochet. We are going to use the same stitches. So now what do we have to make? 3 double crochets, all in different chains. So 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. 3 double crochets, look. And now we make a half double crochet in the next chain. So a single crochet in the next chain. And then to finish this part, we are going to make a slip stitch. So this is the bottom of the second leaf. Look at that. So let's make the bottom of the first leaf. So we go ahead and we make a single crochet right there. And then we make a half double crochet. Three double crochets. It's a little bit tricky to get that loop, but we can do it, right? We are almost done. Okay, my second double crochet. I'll make my third double crochet here. There. And then I make a half double crochet and a single crochet right there. Okay, so now to close the leaf completely, we make a slip stitch in the first single crochet we made there in the beginning. So a slip stitch here, and it's looking like this. Now you can stop right here, or you can go ahead and make something optional. What I like to do to make the leaves firmer is to work some slip stitches down the middle of the leaves here. So I come and I make slip stitches there in the middle. So 1, 2, 3. Look at that. Doesn't matter how many slip stitches, you just have to make enough to get to the other side here. But it's going to be approximately 15 slip stitches. So now that we are done making slip stitches across the middle of the leaves, we can go ahead and cut the yarn and weave in the ends at the back of the leaves. So I'm going to use a tapestry needle to weave in my ends. So moving on, now we are going to pass the string through the leaves from the back. Look at that. I'll show you how to do this. And the leaves are movable. Look at that. You can adjust them. So let's do it. So let's get the leaves we just made, the string, and a tapestry needle. So you grab one of the yarn tails, and with the tapestry needle we are going to pass this tail inside one of the loops on the back of the leaves, so close to the middle here. So choose a loop there and pass that yarn tail through the loop. And make sure you can also pass the chains through that loop, so it moves freely and it's not getting stuck. Look at that. So you test before you continue with the other side of the string. So it's all good there. We go ahead and we grab the other side of the string, so we grab the other tail, and on the same way we just did, we use the tapestry needle to pass that yarn tail in a loop from the back of the leaves. So you go beside that one, you choose a loop there, and you pass your string like so. And make sure you can pass the chains through that loop too, so it's not getting stuck and it moves freely. There you go. Look at that. It's moving freely. Look at how it's looking. This is the back of the leaves and this is the front. And now we are going to make the cherries, and they are going to hang here at the end of the string. So we make 2 cherries, one to put here and the other one to put over there. So for now we don't do anything else with these parts. We just leave them aside because we need to make the cherries first to complete our charm. Let me just do a demonstration here of how it's working. So it's smooth, it's moving. Look at that. In the same way as this one. And the cherries are over there. So who is excited to make the cherries? Let's do it! Now we are going to use red yarn and the same hook. So it's a 4mm crochet hook. And we are going to make these steps twice because we need 2 cherries. So we make a slip knot. And then we chain 2. And then in the second chain from the hook, the first chain here we made, we are going to place 6 single crochets inside that chain. Look at that. So this is round 1 and we have 6 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. And we are going to be working in rounds. So you can use a stitch marker or a piece of yarn to mark the last stitch you made in the round. You can also use a safety pin to mark the stitch. So I'm gonna mark that last stitch from round 1. And now we are going to go to round 2, and round 2 are going to be increases. So we make 6 increases in a total of 12 single crochets. So we make 2 single crochets in each single crochet from the previous round. 1, 2, in the same single crochet, look at that. And then 2 more in the next single crochet. 4, 6, and then 8, 10, 12. The last 2 falls where the stitch marker is. So this is round 2. Look at that, and I'm going to mark that last stitch so we can start round 3. So in round 3 we are going to make 1 single crochet and then 1 increase, and we are going to repeat that 6 times in a total of 18 single crochets at the end of round 3. So you go to 1 single crochet from the previous round, you make 1 single crochet there, then you move to the next single crochet from the previous round and you make an increase there. The increase is 2 single crochets in the same single crochet from the previous round. So let's start. 1 single crochet, and then we go to the next one here and we make an increase right there. So we have 3 single crochets so far, and then we move on to the next single crochet. We make 1 single crochet right there and then an increase in the next single crochet from the previous round until we get to the stitch marker here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then the increase to complete 18 single crochets falls in the last stitch there where the stitch marker was. Okay, so this is round 3. Let's move on to round 4. So now from rounds 4 to 6, so for 3 rounds we make 18 single crochets in each round. So 18 single crochets 3 times, right? So it's round 4 now, and I'm going to make 18 single crochets. So it's 1 single crochet in each single crochet from the previous round. Till now, the cherry was a flat circle, and with the 3 rounds with the same amount of single crochets in each round, in this way we are going to start to make a sphere. So it's going to start to bend upwards here. So I'm going to make my last single crochet from round 4. So round 4 is complete. Now we have 2 more rounds of 18 single crochet stitches in each round. So we are going to move on to round 5. So 1 single crochet in each single crochet from the previous round, in a total of 18 single crochets. And this is round 5. So I'm going to go ahead and finish round 5 and then work on round 6, which is the same thing, 18 single crochets in each single crochet from the previous round, and then we are going to meet here when we are at the end of round 6, okay? Here it is, the end of round 6, and I have 3 rounds with the same amount of single crochets in each round, and it's looking like this, half a sphere. So let's move on to round 7. And in round 7 we are going to start to make decreases. So we make 1 single crochet right there in 1 single crochet from the previous round. And then we are going to make a decrease, an invisible decrease. So we grab the 2 front loops of 2 single crochets from the previous round and we combine them into 1. So it's a single crochet decrease. So we make this block, which consists of 1 single crochet and 1 decrease 6 times until we have a total of 12 single crochets in round 7. So now we move to the next single crochet here. We make a single crochet there and then a decrease. So we have 4 single crochets till now. Let's make the other ones that we need. So 1 single crochet and 1 decrease. 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, and the last block, 1 single crochet and 1 decrease. Let me remove the stitch marker. We are going to use 2 single crochets from the previous round now to make the decrease. There you go. It's looking like this. So let's move on now. We are almost done. So before we continue closing the cherry, so this is very important. Don't close the cherry completely, because first we have to attach the cherry to the string and the leaves there. Okay, so we are going to use a tapestry needle and one of the yarn tails here, and then one of the cherries. You turn it around in the beginning of the cherry here, and you pass that yarn tail through that little opening there from the beginning. So the yarn tail goes inside the cherry. Look at that. Now you flip the cherry inside out, and with that little tail there from the slip knot, you join the two tails together in a knot to secure everything in place. So make like a few knots there, 2-3 knots. And we don't want a lot of the string going inside the cherry. We just want the tail, the yarn tail inside the cherry there. So what I like to do to make it very well attached, I bring the tails to the side of the cherry here to secure it further on the cherry. So I pass the green yarn tail through one loop of the single crochets from inside the cherry there, and then I get this red yarn tail from the slip knot of the cherry, and I do the same. Look at that. And then I make more knots there using the two yarn tails. So I think with the explanation and the visuals, it's easy for you to do this. But it's very simple. You just have to attach the string to the cherry, right? From inside of the cherry. And you don't want that string to be moving. You want it firm. So you use some of the stitches from the cherry to attach that string to the inside of the cherry. You can also use some glue here, some fabric glue or a hot glue gun to secure those two parts even further. You can cut the remaining yarn tails, or you can just leave them inside because we need fiber fill anyways, so the yarn acts like a little bit of fiber fill inside the cherries, so you don't waste any yarn, right? And also before closing the cherry, remember that we have to use fiber fill. So let's start filling this with fiber fill before we close the cherry completely. Let me show you how it is till now. Look at that. It's a little bit messy now, but everything works out perfectly at the end. So let's continue. I'm gonna go get my fiber fill. So start stuffing the cherry before we move on to round 8. Let's move on to round 8. So round 8 is a round that we have only decreases. So we make 6 decreases. 1, 2. It's gonna be a little bit tricky because there's fiber fill, there's stitch marker, there's this part here attached to the cherry. So we need a little bit of patience to complete this round. Look at that, my 3rd decrease. 4, do it slow, right? And then we can do it. 5, see? 1 left. Let's take that stitch marker out of the way. And 6. Now we are going to make sure the cherry is well stuffed, and if it's not firm yet, we can add more fiber fill until it's the way we want it. Now we are going to cut the yarn tail and leave a short tail here of approximately 7 inches so we can close that gap there. So pull the yarn tail through the last stitch, and with the tapestry needle we are going to close that little hole. All done. Now we just have to weave in the ends here. So just conceal that remaining tail inside the cherry. So one cherry is done and one side of the charm is done. Now you have to go back to where I start making the cherry, and you are going to follow the same steps to make and finish the other side here. Okay, so it's exactly the same thing. So let's do that and I'll come back to talk to you. And now we are all done. Look at that. It's so cute. I have 3 of them. So look at the 2 balls there, the 2 cherries. So as always, thank you so much for watching my tutorial. I hope it was useful for you and I hope you make many cherry charms. I'll see you in the next video. And if you are not subscribed yet, please consider doing so you don't miss any other future videos. Bye bye, thank you so much. See you.